The time is 2:23 and you're listening to the Community Hour by the Hyatt Neighbourhood Community House and the Hampton Community Centre. So our next guest that I'd like to welcome into the studio is Nat Levett. He is from Prestige Inhome Care, and there are a few changes coming very shortly around my aged care, and Prestige have very kindly offered to come and host 2 free information sessions at Hyatt and Hampton. So on Wednesday the 14th of May at 11 o'clock at Hampton and 6:30 at Hyatt. So the details are on our website, but without further ado, I'll introduce Nat, who can talk further about it. Hello.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Right, we'll get straight into it. What are some of the changes happening?
Well, there's some big changes to the home care package program that some of your listeners might be currently in or applying for. They're changing the system to the supported home program. And the system hasn't changed for about 10 years now, so this is a big change and it's happening nationally. From July 1st next year, there'll be a capped pricing system under the supported home program.
So it's not till 2026?
It's not till 2026 from July 26, right. But people are going to be moving across
gradually,
during that period.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But ultimately the goal is to create more fairness and transparency in the system, something that's probably been lacking a little bit over the last decade.
Right, and is the ultimate aim to get people staying at home longer? Is that the intention?
The ultimate goal is to have people staying comfortably in their home for as long as possible. Mm-hmm. I think the home care package system really awakened people to the fact that there's a big cohort of the community that needs to be looked after and supported better at home. Mm-hmm. And all the evidence internationally shows that if people are supported, provided with funds in their own home, that they live longer and happier. So yes.
Okay, to be honest, my disclaimer, I used to manage a retirement village and an independent living unit, and I actually thought that some of those people should have stayed in their own bigger house, and that their social network, sometimes it works against them when they go into those smaller villages. It might not work, whereas you've got your local shops and your neighbours. So certainly my experience would agree with that.
And look, ours is too. I think another part of the program really is to prevent people moving into residential care too soon.
Yeah.
And the idea that people are, giving up their lives, changing things in that way to move into a residential care facility when they could be supported and looked after at home for an extended period is a bit sad. So it's a good system in that regard.
And it's a federal system change,
yes,
isn't it? Yeah, okay. So how could attending sessions like these help individuals and informal carers better prepare for aged care planning? Well,
the goal of these presentations really is to provide straightforward, up-to-date information. The facts as we know them, there are some changes coming, but the facts as we know them really will enable people to be better educated and informed so that they can understand what their care pathways are moving forward. We'll try to provide practical advice that's relevant to everyone's situation because, let's be frank, everyone's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. They all need a little bit of a tailored response for their questions, and they'll be able to provide and offer questions that we'll answer on the day. Mm-hmm. And then we'll try and demystify the issues around the aged care system and the transition over to supported home. So the goal is for them to be walking away more confident and informed, and hopefully they can share it with their families and be able to make the right decision when that decision comes.
And what do you think is the optimum age as to when you should start looking at this? So if I'm 56, should I be looking for myself in my mid-60s or now, or just understanding the system?
What I tell everyone with all the presentations we provide is the earlier the better. There is no, I think, date or age in which is too early, because whether it's yourself that might need care down the line, it may be a family member or a friend. So being able to provide that information, like I said, the confusion within the community has really led to a situation where people aren't being cared for as well as they could be. Mm-hmm. So I just say the earlier the better, just to get that information out there.
We do often have some of our senior members, we hear anecdotally when they're talking about the issues that they're facing, and I think sometimes the name My Aged Care, it holds a lot of sins because you're not actually sure. It might not possibly be that exact issue, but it's lumped under My Aged Care.
It's a bit of an umbrella term, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's where some of the confusion maybe has extended from the the fact that My Aged Care manage the home care package system, but they also manage the Commonwealth Supported Home program. And the fact that both of these systems are going to be rolled into one with the Supported Home program is going to make that a lot clearer.
Okay, so definitely there's benefits of seeking advice early before it becomes urgent.
Earlier the better.
Great. And how does Prestige work alongside My Aged Care to provide both government-funded and private services?
Yep, so Prestige have operated with the government funding programs for a long time now. We, in addition to home care packages, we also do NDIS, the National Disability Scheme. But ultimately, with Supported Home, we offer a wide range of private home care services that can be added on to people that may be receiving funding through one of the My Aged Care streams and the Supported Home program in the future.
Okay, making me feel really nervous. I know I shouldn't be because it will be like the information will make things clearer. But yeah, if I feel overwhelmed, I can't imagine what it might be like when you're suddenly, perhaps as you're getting into 80 and you're looking at perhaps what do I need to go and have better assistance or further assistance. So
yeah,
right.
I mean, ultimately. We have relationship managers throughout the community that speak to people on a daily basis, and you soon realise that once those issues associated with ageing, cognitive decline, whatnot, really creep into the situation, people are going to find things even more difficult when the system's difficult anyway.
I'm rolling my eyes now. Okay, for those who attend the information session at Hyde and Hampton, what follow-up resources or support can Prestige offer if people have got questions?
Look, with anyone that seeks advice with us or comes to any of our presentations, you can book a free no-obligation consultation with one of our experienced staff and advisors. We've got a range of helpful tools on our website, including a step-by-step guide, free calculators and a fact sheet to support any sort of position in the aged care journey you might be. If you're not ready to make a decision yet, and going back to your question at the start, I think it's still important to probably come and get an idea of what the pathway might look like for you or a friend, because the more advanced you can be in understanding what your options are, the less you're going to be forced to make a decision when it becomes an emergency.
Yeah. That's what you're trying to avoid,
ultimately. And our 1300 number is always available there for people to ring up. We've got a care specialist team who are care experts that can provide any guidance if anyone has any questions following the presentation also.
Great. And how many care workers, or how big is Prestige, the organisation itself?
Yeah, look, well, we've grown quite a bit over the last 20 years. We started just down the road in a practice that many of your listeners might know, the Bluff Road Medical Centre. We started there 20 years ago with our founder, Nick McDonald. His father owned the practice. And from a handful of carers and nurses, we've grown to about 800 carers and nurses across the eastern seaboard. But our heart remains in Bayside with our head office just in Moorabbin there in Cochrane's Road, number 1 Cochrane's Road. If anyone's listening, we're more than happy to have you walk through and check out our facility if you're interested. So we're well and truly entrenched in the Bayside community.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much for coming in. I will just repeat that date and time, if I quickly find it, on Wednesday the 14th of May. So 11 o'clock at Hampton and later that night, 6:30 down at Hyatt. So 2 options there. And I think by the sounds of it, you definitely, so if I was someone perhaps in my 70s or 80s, perhaps bring along your children to also hear the information. So then you have got someone else who might be retaining different information to you. And also then you're hearing the same thing at the same time and giving you options to go forward.
Great advice.
Yeah, I think the bookings are on the website, Brodie.
Or you can just call us and we can give you all the information as well.
Great. Thank you so much for coming in today. Would you like to throw to your song?
I think anything by Oasis.
We've got Wonderwall.
Perfect.
Perfect. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.